Hi, guys. Welcome to Para Women Radio. I'm Amy. The Gypsy Rose drama has taken a new turn as the divorce between Gypsy Rose and Ryan Scott Anderson heats up. In a bold move, Gypsy Rose asserts her financial independence by claiming, "Your money is my money, and my money is not your money," as she requests alimony from her soon to be ex husband. Not stopping there, Gypsy Rose is also adamant about reclaiming her maiden name, signaling that she no longer wishes to be associated with the Anderson name. This legal battle seems to have more twists and turns than the crookedest block in San Francisco. Stay tuned as this intriguing case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard Anderson unfolds further. Do you guys have you guys ever gone down that road, the crookedest road in San Francisco, California? When I was a senior in high school, I took my senior trip there, and I remember driving down that, and I thought, yes, that's a good analogy. So it looks like Gypsy Rose is asking Ryan to give her money. And I thought that I would do a quick drive by and we could look into it. Let me get my screen all situated and ready for you. And we can get into it. Let me make sure that you can hear me. Okay. Also, before we start, if we could start that algorithm dance party, just start dancing your fingers up to the hearts and thumbs up button. Just start clicking it like nobody's watching, but the algorithm is always watching. It just helps us dance out into the algorithm, party out there, and bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's really appreciated. Did a live a little bit earlier on the Watts house. If you're interested in that, I will put the link in the description. As always, this is my opinion, my research, for entertainment purposes only. I encourage you to go out there and do your own. I will put everything that we view during this live in the description box, and you can go and view it and or read it on your own. So TMZ reports Gypsy Rose Blanchard wants spousal support in divorce, says Ryan can afford it. So Ryan can afford it. I just think this is pretty amazing. But Gypsy Rose Blanchard wants her estranged husband, Ryan Anderson, to pony up some dough as they end their marriage, asking a judge to sign off on alimony for her. TMZ has obtained Gypsy's divorce docs, and the big takeaway is the fact that she's requesting spousal support from Ryan, both in the interim and in the long term. She's also asking that the court deny Ryan spousal support from her end, arguing he's not entitled to it. I am curious as to why she thinks she's entitled to it, but Ryan isn't entitled to it. Hi, Heavenly. I just put Junie to bed, or he would say hi too, I'm sure. He's been extra good, which is so nice because I've been extra stressed out. So last few days he's been pretty good. He seems to know when I'm stressed. TMZ has obtained Gypsy's divorce docs, and the big takeaway is the fact that she's requesting spousal support from Ryan. I wonder who's going to get the Ryan and Gypsy sign. Probably Ryan, along with Pixie. The reason she feels that way, Gypsy says Ryan is the one responsible for the dissolution of marriage. Therefore, she doesn't believe he's entitled to any cash payments from her. There's a few more tidbits in here, including the fact that Gypsy says she's dead set on divorce and intends to live separately from Ryan without reconciliation for the next 180 days, which is what is legally required. The date of separation for them is listed as March 25th. Obviously, they have no children together, and Gypsy says she isn't pregnant either. GRB goes on to note that they are not in a covenant marriage, which means they didn't agree ahead of time to try counseling before going down the road of divorce. In other words, Gypsy's got a clear lane to end this and get it over with officially. Do you have to go into a covenant marriage where you say if things don't work out, if you don't do therapy, you can just get an immediate divorce? I've never heard of such a thing. Lastly, Gypsy wants her maiden name back. Gypsy Rose Alicia, is the D silent? Alicia Blanchard. I didn't know that she had that middle Alicia. She swapped her surname for his when they got hitched in 2022. She also wants this divorce to play out publicly, saying the case doesn't need to be sealed. That's interesting, too. As we reported, Gypsy's ongoing arguments with Ryan and what she's described as his smothering nature was a big factor in her choosing to divorce him. Since then, she's been hanging out a lot with her ex-fiancé, Ken Erker, and now even getting matching tattoos with him. Gypsy's undergoing a lot of changes right now, not just in her marriage, but her appearance too. Like they first told us, she's recovering from a recent nose job. As for Ryan, all he said about the divorce is that it'll eventually play out on TV. So she's asking for the money. She's like, give me the money, honey. Yeah, it's so strange. I haven't heard of this before. And I just wanted to do a quick drive-by. There are a few other things that I found. Did a live earlier today. I'm like, my anxiety's really high. So I'm just like, I got to do something. And so here I am doing live after live. But I did see that this guy, oops, not that guy. Hold on. This guy, Dr. Paul, I don't know how to say his last name, offers up plastic surgery warning for Gypsy Rose, but he's the guy that does the plastic surgery show Botched. So let's take a look at it.
Plastic.
Get it up to the top. Here we go. Oh, for sure, Heavenly. There's going to be a movie. A few of them.
Dr. Nassif, how are you, mate?
Great, nice to see you.
Dr. Paul Nassif at LAX from the show Botch, one of the most famous plastic surgeons in the world, so good person to ask about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who just got rhinoplasty. I say, when she takes off the bandages and sees herself anew, can that have some sort of a transformational impact on your self-worth? And
most of the time they're happy with the transformation, even though the nose is very swollen after the first week.
I say, like, asking for a friend, why, like, a lot of women get their boobs and their butt done, like, why don't guys get things like that done? How come there isn't like an easy way to make, your size bigger and like
down there,
like,
well, there's a buddy of mine named Dr. Gary Ulcher in Beverly Hills. Make a little visit to him.
Really?
I'm sure he can get some working for your friend or you, if that's
no, not me.
Interesting. I didn't know that doctors could do that now to help down there, but it makes sense that eventually they would get around to making it so that I thought this was interesting too, that they're reporting that Gypsy Rose didn't sign a prenup, and that husband Ryan
Gypsy Rose split up with her
a huge payout.
husband, and now she has officially filed for divorce. But there's only one small.
Yes. Blanchard is her maiden name, but it looks like she also had on. I don't know that one name. What was it? I've never seen in her name before. What did they call her? I can't even remember the name. I didn't know that she had Gypsy Rose and then that other name and then Blanchard and then Anderson. That's a lot of names. That would be too many names for me. I've got really long names myself, though.
Issue. No one ever signed a prenup. There was no prenup put in place.
I'm curious as to how he knows there was no prenup put into place.
Now, ever since Gypsy got out of jail, I think it's safe to say that Gypsy is most likely.
Ryan got the puppy. Ryan said he's keeping Pixie, and Gypsy said she left Pixie with Ryan because Pixie liked Ryan more, and she didn't want to uproot the puppy.
I'm not in her pockets. I don't know exactly how much money she has made, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gypsy's already made at least $2 or $3 million.
It's been estimated $3 million, and that was a few months ago, so she's probably made more since then.
And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even more. You have the book deal that came out. You have all of these interviews, these podcasts. You had her, she had 8 million followers on Instagram, and she promoted some material, some jewelry company and stuff on Instagram for a little while. She has, you know, the documentary, the reality show. I think it's safe to say that Gypsy probably raked in a couple of $1 million. And
that's pretty safe to say, indeed. So I don't think he really knows that they didn't sign the prenup. I think he's just saying that. But I also saw something that said signs that Gypsy Rose is 10 signs that Gypsy Rose is
when one part of a pair is
a toxic girlfriend. I thought this would be a good one to watch. Yeah. I never thought that I would feel sorry for Ryan, but I sort of do feel sorry for him in a weird way. Oh, you haven't been getting notifications? Sometimes if you unsubscribe and then resubscribe again and then ring the bell, that will work. Also, at the last live, Jen donated 5 memberships, Heavenly, so I'm going to see if we can apply one of those to you. I just haven't. The good thing about my post-traumatic stress being back is I'm really tired and I sleep really well during this time. And so after the live, I just laid down and I fell asleep and I didn't even look into it. So I am going to look into that because you were the first person I thought of, seeing as that we can't seem to get you in the back door. I thought that we could use one of the ones that Jen donated, but I'm not really sure how to do that either. So I've got to look it up. All right, getting back into this, be sure you guys to give this live a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you like my content, please consider becoming a member. I only need one more member to be able to display my members. You've got to have 8 members. And
recently released from prison.
We're currently at 7 now, thanks to Jen.
There's bound to be some ups and downs, and even some red flags, and naturally a probable divorce. Now that's the root of Gypsy Rose Anderson, who's going back to Blanchard as she separates from husband Ryan Anderson. So a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, but one opinion everyone shared was that her husband had some horrendously bad vibes. So how'd she meet him? Well, the two came into contact via our first red flag. Ryan Anderson and a coworker of his, both lonely and bored teachers.
But I think, Heavenly, are you over on Facebook? Because I could start shooting you something like, hey, I scheduled a live or something like that if you still aren't getting notifications. We're over actually on Facebook. We have a Facebook group and we have an Instagram and a TikTok, but Facebook is usually, I use the Messenger the most on Facebook. So, but I can do Instagram too.
Agreed to write to prisoners they'd seen in documentaries. Now, Ryan's coworker wrote to Joe Exotic, and Ryan chose to write to Gypsy, who he thought to be cute. This is a pretty funny but equally eyebrow-raising comment when you realize Ryan never saw any documentary of Gypsy. He'd only seen the sensational Hulu drama series The Act 2019, which was based on Gypsy's life and starred Joey King. I don't think Ryan really had a great chance with ladies outside of the prison, so writing Gypsy and having her be interested was...
I think Gypsy was as good as Ryan thought he was gonna get, and that's sad, but I have a suspicion that Ryan was probably bullied and teased, and I mean, because look what happened to him when the internet got a whiff of him, a load of him. His looks weren't what bothered me. What bothered me is that he was a special ed teacher and he was attracted to a special ed looking student, and that like apparently he made it so that his special ed students knew he was married to Gypsy, and that's just so awkward and weird and uncomfortable and crossing the line. Like, I was just watching this teacher who was
probably
literally having sex with her students, and I'm like, what in the world's going on here? Because she was like the third or fourth teacher that I've seen that is doing these type of things, and it's just alarming.
thrilling for him. And that's because Ryan was very obviously seeking a so-called captive audience. Now, the couple's relationship and subsequent marriage, initiated through correspondence while she was in prison, raises questions about the psychological profiles of
wait, no, we're not connected on Facebook yet, or are we? I can't remember. But I'll figure it out later at the end of the live.
Those who seek relationships with prisoners. Psychotherapist and author Siobhan Scott, with her expertise in psychology, unpacks this dynamic, noting that it often involves individuals with low self-esteem who find a captive audience in prisoners. Now, Ryan, who worked with specifically disabled children as their teacher, expressed his attraction to Gypsy, someone vulnerable and also in need of leadership, similar to those he teaches in his classes, a fact that Scott finds disturbing.
So that would be a sign that she's toxic, that she's similar to his students. How is that a sign she's toxic?
Did recognize her, and once the word got around that Ryan was wagging around pictures of a girl who put a hit on her mom, then, well, Ryan was asked to resign from his job, which isn't a big deal now that Gypsy Rose is reeling in the money through interviews.
It actually is a big deal because now he's fired without a job, and Gypsy Rose wants her alimony. He's got to give her money, honey. Actually, Gypsy should be giving alimony for the little dog Pixie. Don't you think? This is not interesting me, so I'm gonna move on. Let's pop over on TikTok and see what people are saying over there. Let me make sure that you're seeing. So Natasha Cooper is the one that did the interview with Gypsy and her ex, Ken. So let's see if she has any good scoop. Is there music?
I do this for real. And side note, I do this for a living. And
It's so funny. She says Ryan can afford it. Official Gypsy filed for divorce today. Nothing new there.
Go and follow my backup channel, Recline with Natasha.
Let's see if Ryan posted anything new. Nope, still at the one.
Hey everybody, I thank y'all for the support and the nice messages I've been getting from people. I'm at a friend's watching WrestleMania right now. It's great. I'm enjoying it. You know, I've been a wrestling nerd for a long time.
Is that a comb over that he has?
need to
I
shave,
know I keep asking
but,
it, but is that a comb over?
You know,
I'm
I
just
just
curious.
thank
It reminds me of my stepdad Clyde's hair. He was older than my mom growing. He's passed away, but it reminds me of his hair because he used to take it and flip it over and spray it with Aquanut, and it was like a helmet, and it looked just like that, but only gray. So I guess it is probably a comb over. I don't need to ask. Let's see if Gypsy Rose is doing anything. Still got her nose job up. Christy Blanchard, what are you doing?
How you deal with every
music, that's what you're doing. How do you pause these things to read them? There. What hurts me the most is this. This is Christy Blanchard, Gypsy's stepmother. What hurts me the most is this. When people reach out to me that has gone through almost everything I went through with certain people, I ask them first this question. So you stop drinking the Kool-Aid? I can talk to them about things we both have experienced and we bond over that. And the reason we talk about various things, there are a few that when it comes to asking questions about certain things, I choose not to answer, which is my right. But this, what happens? The next thing I know, they are on social media platforms saying I use them when in all actuality, I'm the one being used. This is fact. A friend will not get upset if there are things I can or cannot talk about. Am I right? Well, that's about as vague as they come. I don't know if you're right or you're wrong. I don't know the context. Let's see what else she has. Nope, nothing else new. Let's go over and see what Fancy from the Good Wives Network is up to these days. Or wait. Yeah. Let's see if Nina didn't post anything new. She just was talking about wanting the money like everybody else has been talking. Here we go. Day 11, Gypsy Rose files for divorce in the middle of the what does this mean? In the middle of the eclipse and wants Ryan Anderson to pay. Someone has been busy making there's the bingo card, obviously, that they does anybody else not enjoy when you go to a page and a video immediately starts playing? That's the whole reason why I don't have one of those videos up on my page, because I don't enjoy it, so I'm not going to do it to other people. I wish there's a way that you could mute it, have it muted when you go to the page, just like on the other networks. Let's see if Ryan and Christy are still fighting.
What I'm about to tell you may be too out there for some of you to believe, and that's okay. I had a theory floated to me by the PR of Christy Blanchard that we all know never was the PR of Christy Blanchard. At the time, it was so absolutely ludicrous that I thought there was no way it could be true. But I'm going to run it by you guys and let you guys decide. She made this sound as if this was April's plan the whole time, but I'm beginning to wonder if it was all of them working together. Supposedly, there's some social experiment going on about how you can basically rile up an entire social media community and kind of decide how everything's going to go, almost like a corporate gaslighting study. Just hear me out, try to follow me down the rabbit hole. Believe me or don't, it doesn't matter anymore. All the people in the true crime community that were involved in the Gypsy Rose case, Natasha and me and Christy and April and Nina and Bree, we all started out like this, and none of us were not getting along except for obviously April and Christy, right? And now here we all are at each other's throats. It started with, April and Christy, and then me and April, and then me and Natasha, and then Nina and me and Bree, and we're all at each other's throats because of Gypsy Rose, essentially. Now, tides have turned. April's now with Natasha, and all of Christy's stuff is somehow getting to Natasha, weirdly, who is supposed to not be affected with Christy. What if, and hear me out, what if this was all some ploy from the beginning? I know I love conspiracy theories, but
I don't think that it was a ploy from the beginning. I think it was just a bunch of people that got out of control crazy going after a story. I don't think that that true crime people in the Gypsy Rose case are being pitted against each other. I mean, yeah, you're being pitted against each other by Gypsy Rose, and you're falling for it, and you're playing the game. That's how I feel about it. What do you guys think? Do you think there's some kind of conspiracy theory that they're pitting the true crime community against each other? I don't think you need to do that. It's already happened. They're already pitted against each other. There's people that support each other tremendously, and it's wonderful. And then there's people that just go after other people, and that's just the way it is. And YouTube allows it. Let's see what else Fancy is going on about. She did an hour and 36
Hey guys, I'm Fancy.
On Gypsy Rose chromosome disorder explained. I'm not really in for that. Are you guys? I don't think I'm going to make this too long, actually, because, well, let's see what she has to say.
Okay, Shortcake. Thank you. Thank you, Shortcake. Wonderful. Okay, guys. So today I was in another live and I was watching, I think it was Hannah's live. I don't know. Or Ellie. Those were the ones that were up there. I know Bazinga was in there too. And they were talking about this discovery that, this discovery of me and Colleen finding this chromosome disorder. And I want you to understand kind of how we came to this and what it really means, because there seems to be a lot of misinformation going out. And Colleen and I already did a pretty long, extensive going over of this from starting in 2000 all the way up to 2011. And it's on our YouTube channel, and you can go watch that right now. And Colleen gives a very short, detailed explanation of this exact chromosome disorder. She has a chromosome deletion, and it is of the 1q21.1 chromosome. And she's got a pretty large deletion of it.
Is that
and
what
so if you go
her,
to rarechroma.org, they have an entire pamphlet, and we put it out.
Is that what makes her look like she almost has fetal alcohol syndrome? Is that what, from this chromosome disorder? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? She has that fetal alcohol syndrome look. Her eyes are close together.
Out. We put it out on our pages. We put it on all over social media, along with the document from the medical records that proves what this is and when they discovered it. Okay. And so I want to go back all the way to the beginning here and kind of talk a little bit about why the chromosome disorder was missed by us for a while, why we had some debates about it a long time ago, and where we're at today with it and how we came to this. So
yeah, I don't think we need to like go into it either. I think that's what it means and why. Why are we talking about that? I mean, it really has nothing to do with her case. Does it have anything to do with her illnesses that she may or may not have had? I don't even know that either. I think I heard some of you talking about being deeply invested in the Sebastian Rogers case, and starting tomorrow I'm going to start from the beginning and start looking into that case. So I'm going to be adding that into my round of true crime that we're going to start covering and looking at. I would really like to see that little 15-year-old found. I mean, it's so alarming and so worrisome that he's still missing. And I'm seeing that there's new stuff coming out. So you guys, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be looking into that case. I started looking at it a little bit today and getting things together, building up a live to do around it. And so you guys, I'll probably do that tomorrow morning, 11ish or so. Heavenly says, yes, I am neck deep in Sebastian Rogers. I live here and have been searching for weeks. Oh, you have been searching for weeks on and off on your off days? Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being boots on the ground out there, Heavenly. That is so appreciated. And yeah, if next time you go out, I would love to talk to you before you go or after you go, just to see what you saw, what you heard, stuff like that. If you're interested, I would love to talk to you about the case. So I will look for you over on Facebook, Heavenly, and add you to my messenger. And that way we can talk that way. And we won't have to. I need to take my phone in. I need to just walk my butt into a T-Mobile and say, my phone is cracked. Help me, my screen. I have the warranty on it, but I just dread getting a new phone. And what I'm dealing with now is I can barely see my screen, but I just need to get a new phone. Just bite the bullet and get a new phone. I mean, I'm blessed that I actually have a warranty where I can get a new iPhone, right? So use it, Amy, use it. That's what I keep telling I like when my post-traumatic is knee deep, I have to force myself to do things, and that sucks. It sucks having to force yourself to get out into the world. I envy you guys that are you just go out there and you just do it. I envy you. So guys, I think I'm going to end this live. Heavenly, thank you so much for coming in and being my wrench. I really and truly appreciate you so much. And I'll be in touch with you over on Facebook. I also haven't checked my emails. I know on the last live, somebody had mentioned that they had emailed me, and I'm going to go in and check and email you tonight or tomorrow morning. So I am a little bit behind on my correspondences. I love you too. Can I call you Jazz, or do you want me to call you Heavenly? I don't know. Whatever you, I want to call you Jazz for some reason, but I love you too, honey. And you guys, if nobody's told you this today, I'm telling you this. I'm so grateful for you. You certainly made a difference in my life. You're my parasocial friends, and I love you guys. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Bye, Heavenly.